The hand that wipes away tears. Dark nights often speak the loudest, especially to those whose hearts are heavy. In such darkness, not just the eyes but the soul too gets cloaked. Yet, even in the deepest night, there's always a glimmer of light, compassion, empathy, and kindness. And one man carried that light in his heart, Mr. Edward Blake. Edward lived in a modest, ivy-covered cottage at the edge of a quiet English village. He was a retired medic from World War II, well into his 90s, with silver hair, a bent back, and kind eyes that still sparkled with life. Locals called him the silent healer because he didn't cure wounds with medicine anymore, he healed hearts with presence. After the war, Edward chose not to live in a city. He moved to this village nestled between hills and stayed there for decades. He had no clinic, no practice. People came to him not for prescriptions, but for a quiet chair, a warm cup of tea, and someone who listened. He never asked questions. He simply sat, nodded, and gently handed tissues to those whose tears flowed without words. One rainy spring evening, there was a knock on his door. A shivering boy stood there, barely 13, soaked, scared, and silent. His name was Lucas. His mother had died of illness. His father had abandoned him. He said nothing. Just cried. Edward didn't ask who he was or where he came from. He gave him a towel, warm clothes, and chamomile tea. Then sat beside him and said, "You can cry here, lad. This is a house where tears are welcome. Tears are not weakness, they're the language of the soul." Lucas never left. He stayed. Edward taught him how to garden, how to read poetry, how to appreciate the morning sun. But most importantly, he taught him how to sit in silence with someone's pain. How to wipe away tears, not with words, but with presence. Years passed. Lucas grew into a gentle, thoughtful young man. People in town began coming to him, a woman facing divorce, a man who'd lost his job, a teen on the edge of giving up. Lucas never preached. Never judged. He listened. And handed them a cup of tea and a handkerchief. Then came the flood. A nearby river burst its banks. Homes were lost. Among the victims was a mother whose baby was swept away. She stopped speaking. Couldn't cry. Couldn't look anyone in the eye. Lucas found her sitting by the river. He said nothing. Just sat beside her. After what felt like hours, her shoulders began to shake. The tears finally came. He didn't tell her it would be okay. He simply offered her a warm scarf and whispered, "You are not alone." That was all she needed. When Edward passed away, the entire village mourned. But their tears weren't just of grief, they were filled with gratitude and love. In his memory, Lucas opened a place called the Listening House. No doctors. No diagnoses. Just a quiet space where hurting souls could be heard. And over the door, etched in wood, were Edward's words, "We may not fix the pain, but we will sit with it. You are not alone." Lucas now travels from town to town, bringing that message wherever he goes. Whenever he sees a trembling lip or misty eyes, he doesn't offer advice, he simply offers presence. Because he knows, the hand that wipes away tears is the strongest hand of all.